Hi guys. So I had an inspiration to make a little quick video about the distinction, the super important distinction between soothing and numbing. And I was thinking about this. I think I think the distinction is very important for each of us to discern for ourselves. Um, and so I'd just like to talk a little bit about it and why it's important and how to discern for yourself and what there is in terms of a slippery slope. So for context, I just want to mention the nervous system and activation because, and you'll see this in all kinds of videos I've made, and I have a whole series on this, etc. And feel free to explore my channel for that. Um, the nervous system gets activated when things happen, and this is appropriate, right? Like you're walking across the road and you're about to step into the road and a car zooms by and you jump back, and that's what the nervous system is supposed to do. And when you jump back, your heart rate instantly goes up and you have a fear response and you might start sweating and your breath gets shallow. Whatever happens, stuff happens, right? This is an appropriate response in the nervous system. It's how we function and it's good. However, in the modern world, what happens is our stress response gets kicked up, kicked up, kicked up, kicked up all day long over stuff that isn't really life-saving. It's more about stress or pressure or whatever. And so what happens is we need to find ways to settle it so that we can get back into a state of regulation and well-being. And so soothing is very, 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 very important. From the point of view of alignment, soothing is extraordinarily important. That when we are in alignment with our inner guidance, with our inner genius, we can only access that information from intuitive understanding from inner self, etc., when we're in a pretty settled, pretty well state, pretty content, pretty hopeful, pretty calm. It doesn't have to be all the way like chilled out like a Zen master or anything. It just has to be not too high. And for the purposes of understanding this, I like to think of this as a range of 1 to 10 basically. And 1 is, yeah, like I'm totally blissed, I'm good, like, yeah, and 10 is spun out activated. It's when you cross the line into the stress response, into fight or flight. And so in between this 1 to 10, the 1 to 6 range is sort of like life, right? 6 is quite activated, but it's activated probably in this like, okay, I got this, I'm on top of it, things are happening, but I'm there, it's okay. So the 1 to 6 range is manageable. And when we're living at 6, we do need to get back down to 3 and 4 from time to time, but 6 is manageable. When we get into 7 and 8, it's a real danger zone, because at that point we start getting very, very reactive. And you can see, this look, right? We've all experienced this. And then at 9 and 10, forget about it. There's very little chance you're going to recover from that except by stepping pretty far away from your life. So we really want to learn to soothe at 6, 7, and 8. At 9 and 10, we aren't very good at soothing, and it takes a lot more. However, it's possible. So, and you'll see lots of videos with soothing techniques, particularly, by the way, the 5 senses recycling exercise. I've got a free PDF download, etc. That can take you from a 9 or a 10 back into like a 4. It can, and I've done it with clients over and over again. So if you feel like you need that, go ahead and download it. And there's an accompanying recording for that. So that was just to establish the context of what I'm talking about, soothing. Now, the thing about soothing is it can be kind of a slippery slope from soothing to numbing. So for example, someone might come home and have a beer at the end of the day, and that's soothing. And if you're not an alcoholic, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to do. If you are, of course, we know 1 drink is too much. And I, for example, have that relationship with cigarettes. I would love to be a casual smoker. I loved smoking, but oh my God, such an addict. So I can't dabble. And similarly, alcoholics can't dabble in alcohol, and other people can't dabble in other things. So if there's something you can't dabble in, be clear, you can't use that for soothing. But if you can, 1 drink could be soothing, right? 5 drinks is numbing. Maybe you're in a state where you're actually working with a doctor and you're taking an anti-anxiety medication sometimes, and your life is just that way right now, and so 1 Ativan every few days helps you manage your life. but maybe then you develop an addiction for it and suddenly you're having to have it all the time. And so from soothing to numbing is a slippery slope, and everybody's slippery slope is different. So for example, my slippery slope on alcohol doesn't seem to exist. I'm 50 whatever years old, and it's never been a problem for me. Other people, they know they have that slippery slope very, very young. But my slippery slope actually is really more on binge watching, like Netflix. So I can watch 1 or 2 episodes of some fun show, and that's great. That's soothing, it's fun, it puts me in a good mood. It's kind of like, yeah, that was a nice end of the day. But that little countdown, new next episode starting in 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, there comes a moment when I'm not in soothing, I'm in numb, and I'm just kind of staring at that, and it goes on to the next episode. So you might have that same slippery slope. Let's be real. Media companies are designing their delivery to numb us that way. And so it's our responsibility as individuals to distinguish between soothing and numbing. One of the ways to know whether you're soothing or numbing is soothing takes you from like a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down into a 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 10 to 7 is soothing. 8 to 6 is soothing, etc. So it takes you down, and then you find yourself more alert, more in a place of choice, more in a state of going, okay, all right, great, now what? What do I want to do? You find yourself back in the driver's seat of the moment. So soothing takes you from an activated state where you might not be in the driver's seat at all, just very reactive. Someone honks their horn at you and you start screaming, right? That's a reactive activated state. Or someone in the grocery store is pushing their cart too slow and you're about to lose your mind, right? To a regulated state in which you're like, oh, someone's walking too slow in the grocery store, I'll zoom around them or go down another aisle. It's not a difficult thing to manage. So soothing takes you from an agitated, somewhat out of control state into a more regulated, in control and in a place of choice state. Your presence increases. Numbing, it takes you from an out of control state into a deadened out of control state. It takes you into less present, less alive, less capable of making choices. So I wanted to make that distinction. Comment below. We'll explore this together. I'll answer questions on the next live call or whatever. But so soothing versus numbing, and you have to work out your own story on this. But it's a very important one to work out so that the things you do for soothing don't accidentally tip into numbing. Okay? All right. Have a great day. Bye, guys.